Gentlemen, I'm honoured to be joined with you once again, and today we're talking about the North Macedonian Citizenship by Investment Program. This is one of the lesser known European investment programs out there. Everyone knows Malta, everyone knows Austria, everyone knows about Montenegro, which used to have a program, but one that sort of slips away, sort of hides behind the bushes, would be North Macedonia. And to be honest, it doesn't sound like the worst program in the world. I just haven't heard anyone actually do it before. Because if we look at the investment requirements, there are actually two methods that you could do in order to qualify for North Macedonian citizenship. The first one would be to invest 200,000 euros, we're going to be talking in euros here in this video, into a private investment fund and hold the money in that fund for 2 years. Then you can qualify for North Macedonian citizenship. And the timeline you can never trust, to be honest, but the timeline on many websites says that you can get it in about 5 months. Which, to be honest, I don't really understand how you have to hold it there for 2 years, but you can get it within 5 months. So, okay, what if you take out the money after the 5 months are up once you get the passport? What happens then? So that isn't very clear, but it is estimated to be a very fast track citizenship naturalization process. That's the first method, 200 grand into a private investment fund, or you could double it and give it to the next person in a way by investing 400,000 euros directly into a new facility, a new faculty, which will employ 10 people minimum for a minimum time period of 1 year. So those are the two methods. Naturally, if you are going to strive for the 400,000 one, if you want to double it and give it to the next person, shall we say, and hire those 10 people, there is a lot more paperwork. But with the 200,000 one, if we think about it, yes, North Macedonia is an EU candidate, although frankly, I don't know, I'm not really sure if they're going to join the European Union. Other websites brag that they're a NATO member. I don't know what the major bragging thing is there when we talk about citizenship, to be honest. But to be honest, 200,000 for a European passport isn't that bad. Yes, it's not European Union, but still it isn't the worst passport in the world. Okay. Because if we look at the visa requirements map, we can see that the North Macedonian passport isn't the worst in the world. I mean, you don't have access to everywhere. You haven't got Canada, United States, the common travel area, UK or Ireland aren't there either, or Australia or New Zealand. You haven't got the major countries where it's a big deal to get visa-free access. But beyond that, you want visa-free access to the Schengen area. You can do that. You want ID card, free travel to Serbia and Montenegro and Albania and Bosnia. Yeah, you can do that. Not a problem at all. It's not the best passport in the world. When we talk about European passports, naturally not being an EU passport is going to hinder it and take it down a peg or two. But when we compare it to another non-EU passport, like the Serbian passport is significantly better than the North Macedonian passport. Serbia does have citizenship by exception, but it's not really well known, to be honest, among the space with the exact details on how to acquire it. North Macedonia is actually not really a famous program, but still a lot of people sort of heard about it on the grapevine, although me personally, I've not heard anyone talk about how they actually got this passport. I've heard people, I've spoken to people before who have gotten Montenegrin citizenship or Cypriot citizenship by investment back in the day, or Maltese citizenship by investment. I haven't heard anyone say, oh yeah, do you know what citizenship by investment program I did? North Macedonia. I don't know why. It's not really a big program that people seem to be doing. I don't even know how many people have done it. They haven't published any reports on whether 5 people have done it, 100 people have done it, what have you. So it really doesn't seem to be that famous of a program. But when we look at it, the price isn't terrible. There might be better deals out there in the Caribbean community. But still, it isn't that bad. The passport isn't going to be a tier European passport. But still, it isn't the worst in the world. I'd say it's about a Plan B passport. It's a perfect example of a Plan B passport. Not your primary travel document, but one that you sort of have in your back pocket if needed for emergencies. Now, there are 2 major benefits to do the North Macedonian Citizenship by Investment Program. The first one being is that you can actually pass this citizenship down to your descendants, meaning that if you have a child or a grandchild or what have you, they'll also be able to become North Macedonian citizens. Naturally, in the application, that's not how it's going to be, right? They can only get it after you naturalize, but it's something where, let's say, maybe you are going to do this program and then you want your child to get it, like maybe you want to have a child about 5 or 10 years after you've naturalized in the country. Then that child will be entitled to the citizenship. Again, not the best passport in the world, but still pretty good emergency travel document to have in a bad case scenario. And naturally, North Macedonia also allows dual nationality. As we know on this channel, that is monumentally important to discuss. North Macedonia is a country that is going to allow dual citizenship, so you can definitely have a diversified passport portfolio. To be honest though, when we look at the price, okay, 200,000 isn't terrible for a European passport, This isn't the best price in the world. Yes, it's significantly cheaper than the Malta program, although the Malta program does provide you with a lot more benefits. It's the EU Schengen passport. But there are also some benefits with North Macedonia. For example, it is going to be more expensive than some of the remaining CARICOM countries that are still at around 100,000. It's going to be more expensive than Vanuatu or Nauru or what have you. But North Macedonia doesn't really have a reputation of selling their passports, which is why it's sort of good in a way. It's not really a famous program. You know, if you were to do this program, rock up somewhere, you know, you want to open a Swiss bank account or something. It might not be the biggest red flag in the world that you've got North Macedonian citizenship, whereas if you have Vanuatu, that might cause some problems in any country that is famous for banking or anything in regards to taxes, because Vanuatu is famous for selling their passports in not the best way possible. And yes, it has been blown out of proportion. But North Macedonia doesn't have that reputation. So, you know, if you rock up somewhere and they ask for all your passports and they see North Macedonia there, they might ask, oh, how did you get this passport? But if they don't ask, they might just assume, okay, maybe he lived there, maybe he's got family from that part of the world, exception, something. It isn't a passport where they look at it as a red flag, which might be an issue with Vanuatu, to be honest, unfortunately. So, although it is more expensive, because it's not well known, you might actually find it easier to not have that many red flags when we talk about citizenship diversification, because among a lot of people, citizenship diversification is still seen as a bad thing because that's what the media purports. But with North Macedonia, you can sort of counter that in a way. Still not the best passport in the world. I personally wouldn't do this program, but, you know, it's not a passport with a terrible reputation. But to be honest, when we look at the price, right, 200,000 isn't terrible for a European passport. But the Caribbean community does provide some better incentives, to be honest. You do have better visa-free travel. Vanuatu doesn't have great visa-free travel, but it is cheaper. But also, there are other options in Europe. You don't have to do a citizenship program. You could do a golden visa program in an EU country. You could do the Portuguese D78 visa, although Portugal is absolutely changing their immigration system now. It might not be the best option in the world, but there are other options out there that do seem to be a little bit better. To be honest, for example here, I'm not too sure if I would do the other program, but I'd be much more likely to go for the Turkish citizenship by investment program personally than the North Macedonian one. Because although yes, it is 200,000, the North Macedonian one, if we were to ignore that and only look at the 400,000 program, why would I do the 400,000 one when I could do it for the exact same price in Turkey? They are talking about increasing the price, but that's fine. For the same price, 400,000, also get property with it too that might go up in its price and its value in the future. Seems to be more of an incentive to go for Turkey than there is for North Macedonia. But again, I'm not sure if I do either one. Both have some issues that I'll talk about in a future video. But to be honest, although it isn't the best known program in the world, which might actually be beneficial, it's so unknown that the steps aren't very clear on what benefits it provides you, because the major incentives that I saw is that it's an EU candidate, but it's unlikely to join. NATO member, that doesn't really impact visa-free travel. You're not going to have visa-free travel to the United States, for example, just because of that. So in general, there are some benefits, but it's not really the best program in the world, in my opinion. Personally, I don't see any incentive why I would do it at all. Let me know what you think about the North Macedonian Citizenship by Investment program. Do you agree with the points that I raised in this video? Would you actually like to do this program? Let me know down in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, be sure to hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next one. But until then, eternal victory to the free people.